All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Hayward. Today, we're going to be going over the top three foods that are killing your results. So, specifically, we're going to go over top three food scenarios. So, in what areas of our lives do we typically mess up the most that causes us to not lose weight, that causes us to eat too many calories so that way we can't keep losing weight? So, that's what we're going to go over today is top three scenarios. And then I'm going to give you action steps on how to work around them so that way you can still live your life the way you want to. You can still enjoy yourself, yet also be able to lose this weight once and for all, because it's got to be a lifestyle and it's got to be sustainable, right? Nobody wants to be eating chicken and broccoli every day for the rest of their lives. And I get that. So we're going to go over the top three ones. And I'm going to share with you some action steps in place on how to work around it and how to fix it once and for all. Now, if you do get some value out of this training, if it helps you on your weight loss journey, whatever it may be, make sure you like and subscribe below, so that way more people can see this and get some help as well. All right, so let's dive in here, guys. So top three food scenarios that are killing your results. So the biggest ones, and just mind you, when I was making this training here, what was going through my mind was in what areas of most people's lives, and what events do they typically consume the most calories that then sabotage their results when it comes to their weight loss. So in what areas, what events take place where they go to it and they end up eating a ton of calories that then is going to mess up their weight loss for the next following 1, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, because here's the thing. I'm a true believer in, from what I've seen, is that a lot of you who are working actively on losing weight, like this is for you who, if you are working out, if you are trying to eat better, you're just a few small fixes away from making a drastic, amazing change. And then for others who are just really, really lost and stuck, who really haven't started yet, who don't really know about their calories and stuff like that, this is still going to help you in some sort of way, either feel better mentally, and still get some calories cut back as well, which might help you lose some weight. So let's dive in here, guys. So the first one is any gathering with alcohol. So this is like weddings, this is like family birthday parties, events. Events like these with alcohol is where we really sabotage ourselves, because ultimately, number one, there's typically a lot of food, right? There's typically going to be the cakes, there's going to be pastries, there's going to be carbs, there's going to be lots and lots of goodies there. And then adding on the alcohol, which is another amount of calories that we're going to be consuming, empty calories as well. We're bringing all those calories in, and then the alcohol makes us just not even care at all. So then we're more likely to eat and eat and eat and eat. And then just like you ever have those, after a late night of drinking, you go home and you end up eating the whole fridge too, right? It just something makes you hungry or something like that. You crave greasy food. So gatherings with alcohol, this is a huge one, because that could easily become a 3 to 4,000 calorie night, which then gains us a pound right then and there, basically. Like it really can mess up things. Okay. So when it comes to gathering with alcohol, every time I deal with a client, I always try to set up action steps in place. So the first one is, what can you do before the event to control yourself, right? So the first thing you could do is trying to set rules in place, trying to set numbers in place. Okay, tonight I'm only going to stick to 5 drinks. I'm only going to do this. This is my promises to myself. I'm going to have a cookie, but I'm not going to have 5 cookies. Like setting up rules and setting up intentions before you go out can really help you have like that right frame of mind. So setting up the right intentions and telling yourself, like, what do I want coming out of this? How do I want to feel tomorrow when I wake up? Do I want to feel hungover, terrible about myself, or do I want to feel energized? Do I want to feel good? What do I want most in this situation, right? So that's the first one, is having those right intentions going into it. The next one is filling yourself up. So fill up on high protein before you go to an event. If you are trying to lose weight actively, try to fill up so you're at least full. So that way, when you do go out, you're not likely to eat as much food, right? So try to fill yourself up as much as possible, high protein. The next thing is, if you are having alcohol, then maybe you should try to have drinking water in between. So every time you have a drink, then grab some water and drink a glass of water in between every single drink. That's going to help you slow down the drinking. That's going to help fill you up more as well, so you eat less food and consume less calories. So that's the next one there, is drink water before. The next ones that you can do is ultimately just eat slower, right? When you do grab your plate, when you grab your food, just take your time, eat slow, try not to go back for seconds, try to have those rules in place. and enjoy yourself there. And then if you can, lastly, just trying to track everything you're eating so that way the next days you can work around if you need to. But those would be the best action steps I would set in place for you if I was drinking alcohol and if I was going out to gatherings and I was also trying to lose weight. That's what I would set in place there. That's what I would try to work on. All right. The next one is the lonely late night binges. So let's say you're home alone, you're just chilling by yourself or you're with your partner and it's just like, maybe you're using drugs or maybe you're just chilling out or whatever it may be. I just noticed that sometimes people will have those late night binges, right? And where they just kind of throw it all away. It's the weekend. Screw it. We're watching movies. Let's order in all the KFC, McDonald's, whatever it may be that we order, right? So the lonely late night binges, we'll call it. The first step in first place is I would say is setting intentions, right? What do I really want? How do I want to feel? How does this make me feel? So actually reflecting upon the situation. Typically, people like this, they're stuck in a cycle where it's like every single weekend they're doing it. So they need to reflect upon that and be like, okay, well, what are my intentions? What do I truly want for myself? Why is this actually happening? And then they want to keep mindful of it because they don't want to forget about it, right? Because then they'll get back in the pattern. So they want to remind themselves going into the weekend and those late nights, they need to have this on their mind of like, this is my intentions. This is what I truly want for myself. So I want to break this pattern. And then what they could do is actually break the pattern through changing their environment. So if you're at home and you're watching movies and that's when the late night binges happen, if I were you, I would first of all maybe try to get a new hobby. So try to get out of the house, maybe go do something active, maybe go do something that is good for ourselves, or at least with other people. So that way we're out and about, we're not thinking about the food. And then the next thing is I would delete the apps off my phone. So if I do have a personal battle with it, I would just delete the apps off my phone so I couldn't order any food. So that way it would just make one more extra step to go get the food, right? Make it harder for myself. And I would make sure that my fridge is full of healthy food only. So that way, if I do get hungry or have those cravings and the snacks that I want, I can go to the fridge and it's going to be healthy food there, fruit, things like that. You could keep little treats in there as well as, if you like to have a cheat meal on the weekends, whatever it may be, do that, especially if you know that if you do order, you're going to end up overeating or ordering too much. Then maybe have just like a little bit in the fridge for yourself. So that way you can kind of curve that craving, right? So like a dark chocolate, whatever it may be. Now, the next one is practicing self-care and relaxing the mind. So maybe when the evening comes around, you can have a bath, do some meditation, just things that get your mind just at peace and present and get rid of the anxiety, depression, whatever may be going on at the moment. And just practicing that self-care, really taking care of yourself, cleaning yourself up. I find the more positive actions we do for ourselves, the more we're going to want to keep doing positive actions for ourselves, right? So if we can do those things before that late night binge, it's going to make us feel better and odds are improve our chances for success when it comes to trying to defeat this pattern. Now, the next one, of course, going to bed earlier, right? There's a saying goes where it's like nothing good happens after 11 p.m. at night. And as I'm aging, I notice it's starting to become more true as well. But yeah, you could go to bed earlier, right? It's sometimes we want to kind of buy back our time and self-sabotage at nighttime so we can get our own alone time. But sometimes going to bed earlier and you can wake up earlier in the morning and have that alone time. That might be a little bit more beneficial. So go to bed earlier. The next one is reflecting on who you're hanging out with, your friends, call a friend up. And then, so that's the lonely late night binges. Now let's move on to the last one that kind of sabotages our results, which is the fast food stop. So this is where like if you're hungry, if you don't have anything prepped and you go get fast food every day, every other day, whatever it may be. But if you're consuming fast food a lot, that's going to kill your weight loss because it is just has so many calories, right? Like the average fast food meal, if you're going to really have a meal, it's going to be at least 800 plus calories, probably at least, which is going to be a lot of calories, right? For a lot of you losing weight, that's going to be almost half of your calorie intake for the day. And it's not going to fill us up whatsoever, right? We're just going to want more fries, more of the sodium, and more of the chicken burgers. So how do we break this? How do we stop this? For fast food, I find it's all about planning. It's all about having that plan in place. It's all about preparing yourself, right? Like having the protein. You can have the snack box in your car so that way, if you are on the go, if you are out and about. I remember when I was on my shredding journey and losing weight, I would pack I would just before I go out for the day. If I knew I was going out for 6 hours or 4 hours a day with my friends, I would I would just know that, okay, I'm gonna get hungry and I don't want to go out and spend money on fast food and eat that fast food. So I'm just gonna prep my lunch, I'm gonna prep rice, chicken, or I'm just gonna prep my lunch before I go out. So that way, if my friends are eating out, I can just have my lunch right there, and I'm eating all the fiber. I'd eat like fiber protein bars, apples, nuts, beef jerky, protein shakes. Like I just bring all that. So I would just eat it, gobble it down. So that way I'm kept full. It's lower calories, healthy food. And that way I'm not sabotaging my progress and not giving into fast food. That was the biggest thing for me is like if when it comes to fast food, is just being prepared, having food on you. So that way you can just eat the food instead of going to buy the food, right? So being prepared. And then the last one you can do is set up rules, right? So it's like I don't eat fast food from this day to this day, but on this day, it's okay if I want to have a fast food meal. So you could also set rules in place. I had a friend who used to train with me, and they lost about probably 40 to 60 pounds. Amazing transformation. And they set rules in place. So they worked out almost every day or so. They worked out very consistently. They crushed it. But their rule was they could have a cheat meal every 2 weeks and they could just absolutely splurge. But for them, they were like a major sugar addict, so they couldn't just play around with it, right? They had to set solid rules in place where it's like, nope, I do not eat fast food. I do not eat this crap for 2 weeks. But then on that weekend, after the 2 weeks, I can just do whatever I want. I can have all the cheat meals in the world. I can go enjoy myself. That is my weekend of cheating, and that's worked for them. So everyone's different, right? But find what works best for you and your goals. But here's the three main steps when it comes to food scenarios on how you can, little action steps in place on how you can work around them and what to do to actually succeed with this weight loss journey. All right. So if you did like this training for today, as always, you know what to do. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you need some help, you can contact me on Instagram at coach.hayward. Just message me coach or CH, and I can have a chat with you there. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next training. Have an amazing, amazing week or day if you're watching this later on, and keep moving forward because this is all worth it in the end. You got this.